name is Father Gonzalo Arboleda, and today's Gospel comes from the Gospel according to John, chapter 16, verse 20 to 23. Jesus said to his disciples, "Amen, amen, I say to you, you will weep and mourn while the world rejoices. You will grieve, but your grief will become joy. When a woman is in labor, she is in anguish because her hour has arrived. But when she has given birth to a child, she no longer remembers the pain because of her joy that a child has been born into the world. So you also are now in anguish. But I will see you again, and your hearts will rejoice, and no one will take your joy away from you. On that day you will not question me about anything. Amen, amen, I say to you, whatever you ask the Father in my name, he will give you." So Christ here is talking to his disciples on the eve before his Passion, Holy Thursday, in the Last Supper discourse, and he's foretelling them that they will have to suffer his parting. He tells them that they will be in anguish, they will weep, and they will mourn. And he is referring certainly to his passion and death. They will know that their Lord has died. But he says that later their grief will become joy, and they will experience great joy in his resurrection. That's why he says, "But I will see you again, and your hearts will rejoice." So the joy is caused by Christ's resurrection. And it is such great joy, such marvelous joy, ineffable joy, that Christ compares it to the woman in labor who is in anguish while she suffers, but after she's given birth, she no longer remembers her pain because of the great joy she experiences. So the joy of the apostles will likewise be so great that they will no longer remember the pain that they felt on Good Friday and Holy Saturday while they had lost their Lord. So this relationship between pain, sorrow, and joy, on the other hand, is something that we have to keep in mind for our entire spiritual life. You see, our spiritual life is, in a way, made up of joys and sorrows, pain and pleasure. Or, in the words of St. Ignatius of Loyola, desolation and consolation. Now, just as the woman who is, in childbirth and endures great pain after she gives birth, experiences great joy, so likewise in the spiritual life, after we've experienced a time of desolation, of spiritual sadness and sorrow and difficulty and trial and temptation, after this time is over, we always receive a time of spiritual consolation, an increase in faith, hope, and charity, spiritual joy, feeling of strength and power, and rejoicing in God's praise. So we should always, whenever we are in a time of desolation, a time of suffering and trial and temptation, we should always be patient and look forward to the consolation that is to come. That's one of the rules that St. Ignatius gives in his spiritual exercises. We should always look forward and be hopeful for the consolation that is to come. Sooner or later, this trial will end, and we will be consoled and visited by our God. Therefore, we should never lose hope, but learn to be patient in the midst of trials. always thinking that they are temporary. Every trial, every difficulty is temporary because God sends it precisely for a specific time in order to purify us and strengthen us. And afterwards comes a time of consolation and joy in which He also blesses us with many gifts. Therefore, may the Blessed Virgin Mary help us in our spiritual life, that we may always be patient during our trials, place our hope in God and our trust in Him, and that we may look forward to the coming consolation. By His grace, may we not fail in our trials, and let us remember that this failing consists precisely in giving up hope that God is with us and will visit us shortly. Amen.
Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed hearing the gospel and homily, I invite you to share it with someone you know who may also find it rewarding, and also to subscribe to the Catholic Voice channel. Please see in the description below if you would like to receive a text message for each daily gospel and homily. Please also keep our missionary priests throughout the world in your prayers. Thank you, and God bless.